Hey you guys, it is your girl AP and welcome back to my channel. Hey, I know that it has been a few weeks since I was here with my last video, and I think we discussed transitions, but don't quote me. But anyway, how's everybody doing? These last few weeks have been incredibly difficult, and I think I touched on it when I did transitions. We were in the midst of moving. That move has finally happened. I also started a new job like the same week I was moving, and life has been a tilt-a-whirl, a whirlwind, chaos, very on brand for me, might I add, in my life. But I am pleased to say I have survived it. I am here. I'm still alive. In fact, me and hubby just came off of a great staycation weekend. We do that every about 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 months, where we just hole up in a hotel somewhere in the city or on the outskirts of the city and just enjoy each other's company, get busy, and don't worry about the kids. I know that sounds like bad parenting, but I promise you it's great parenting. So we also happened to attend one of the first plus size events of the season here in Atlanta, and that's Lifestyle Honors. And if you've been a reader of my blog or you've followed me on social media, you've seen me attend the Lifestyle Honors. I started attending back in like 2018, I think. It's hosted by Maui Bigelow. She was formerly known as Fat Girl Fresh. And it's where she honors those within the plus community and plus industry who are doing great big things. And it's like a weekend type of deal where it's like 3 days of events. This year she was celebrating, I think, the 9th year, and the events started on Wednesday. Now, sis is a working woman and was not going to all of the events. I'm just not cut out that way anymore. But I did attend Curves en Blanc, which is the all-white party. Hubby and I went yesterday. Check out my Instagram, APY blog. There's great pictures or photos up and video footage of the glam, of course, and just a few of the folks that I happened to run into while I was there. Now that all the pleasantries are out of the way and I recapped about what I've been doing, now let's get into the topic that I'm coming to talk about today. I've noticed that quite a few of you guys have really honed in on the duodenal switch update video, because there's many of us out there who have gone through weight loss surgery, whether you've done VSG or gastric bypass or duodenal switch. There's a lot of us out there who can relate to the experience of weight loss surgery. Even with the different surgeries, some of the things we go through are the same. And what I want to talk about today, which is something that's coming up in conversation more because I'm super verbal with my friends and family. And in my being verbal and open, it's getting other people to be verbal and open. And I want to talk about the styling of oneself after weight loss. Stay with me here. I know it may seem like a no-brainer for a lot of people. Like, what do you mean styling yourself after weight loss? You're losing weight. You have more accessibility to clothes. You should be able to do A, B, and C. And while that is true, yes, accessibility to fashion definitely opens up. We know that because the larger you are, the harder it is to find clothes. Even with the strides the plus community has made in the plus fashion industry, there's still a limitation on what you can do depending on the size that you are. So even within the plus size community or plus size fashion industry, there's still a hierarchy of sizing there. And the lower you are on the fat spectrum, the more accessible you will have options to clothes versus being higher on the fatter end. Yeah, there's labels for this, folks. I kid you not. There's large fats, there's mid fats, there's small fats, there's extended size fats. And I've been on all varying ends of the spectrum of fatness. And at my largest, I was in the extended sizes. And while it was limited in what I had accessibility to, I got creative. I've shared blog articles about the places that I've shopped. Getting into blogging helped open up my portfolio. I don't know if I want to call it portfolio. What's the proper word here? Opened up my... I'm going to insert some crickets here because I'm really struggling with trying to find the proper word. Go with it diversified my options in terms of where I was shopping, because there were places that I just was not aware of. And being larger forced me to have to be more creative in where I shopped, even if that meant going out of the country. And so I found success in finding comfort and style that worked for me and my body at the time. In fact, so much so that now that I'm smaller, I am struggling with shopping because psychologically, I know, well, physically, I can look at myself and not necessarily see that I've lost weight. Psychologically, I can know that I've lost weight, but in my mind, I still see the larger Alicia, the larger AP. And so when I'm going to buy clothes, sometimes I'm missing the mark because I'm buying bigger, because I'm so used to having to size up or get the highest size because it may not fit my body. And I have been sorely and sadly disappointed the last few times I've gone shopping with a few places because I was in a 36 at my largest, 34, 36, and I can currently wear anywhere between 18 to a 22, and it's just wild and weird for me. I bring this up because yesterday, while I was at Lifestyle Honors, I can spot a VSG patient or a bag pass patient or any weight loss surgery patient because we have a look about us. I know that sounds maybe weird to say, but the way our weight sits when you've had excessive and massive weight loss in a short amount of time, there's certain identifying marks of that. So the way our fat hangs on our arms, our midriff, our legs, it's very telling. And what I saw were a few women in the community who have definitely had weight loss surgery, whether they have openly admitted it or not. I do believe it's everybody's right to disclose when and how they want to, or if they want to at all. Y'all know me though, I'm an open book when it comes to this stuff. But I can see it. And what I also noticed was that despite them having had weight loss surgery, some of them looked like they were struggling to find fashion that fit them properly. And it's the wildest thing, but the more I looked around the room, the more I saw it. And it really just made me think about conversations I've had with my husband recently and my good friends. And I'm very fortunate to have good friends in my circles that I can talk to about this stuff. And even those who are fashion designers in the industry whom I've worked with to have custom made clothing. My outfit, for example, was from Riche Lux or RCLX Universe. She's a local Atlanta designer. She has dressed me just about every year with the exception of the pandemic for the events that I've gone to. And so I had to explain my struggle to her with knowing what my measurements are and still telling her, like, make sure I have enough room. And that resulted in my pants not fitting and me having to hack it. And so my pants the night before we went on vacation to make sure that they stayed up around my waist, and me having to last minute change my top because the top that I had was too large. And I think that many of us are going through that. And I think the things that are helping me cope is being able to be really open and honest about my feelings, no matter how weird or absurd they sound to other people, but also talking it through therapy. There is a reason that there's a disconnect between what I physically am right now and what I see. I don't want to tiptoe into the territory of saying it's body dysmorphia, but maybe it's a form of that. I don't know. I don't have a formal diagnosis, so please don't call me to the carpet for that. But it's similar to that. It's like I don't see the changes. And this is where before and after pictures come into place, but so many in the fat community are so very offended by before and afters because they think it is comparison of one is better than the other. The one thing I always say is I was fly at 500 pounds. I'm going to be fly now. And if I post before and after, it is not to shame my former body, but it is literally one of the only ways I am able to see my changes. And I have every right to desire to see my changes. I had a $24,000 surgery and went through an adequate amount of pain to get through the other side. I better be able to acknowledge the changes that I've gone through, whether it triggers or hurts somebody's feelings or not. Just want to put that out there. But at any rate, I often don't get to see those changes unless I do a side by side, and it's not until I've done a side by side and I'm like, Leash, you are wildin', sis. Like, you really have lost a whole entire person, a whole entire adult person off of your body. You need to size down. And like I said, as I watched these women uncomfortably adjust and look almost lost within themselves, it just made me feel like somebody needs to be more verbal about this. I'll be the one. I'll be the one. I've said this before and I will say it again. I wish there was not so much stigma centered around weight loss in the blogging plus community. I understand why there's such a struggle about weight and health conversations because of the trauma that so many fat people have gone through, including myself, within the healthcare system, within our culture. It's systemic, it's ingrained, and it has had an adverse effect on many of us, whether we know it or not. I've talked about that in previous videos about fat people trauma, which is a very real thing. But I also think, as much as those things are true, it doesn't negate that some of us are going to lose weight. Some of us are going to have various reasons for doing it, and it should be an open forum to be able to talk about it and the things that come with it. And for me, it's never like a boo-hoo, I need your sympathy, because I made a choice. I think it's more or less like, I just want to be able to relate to somebody who understands what I'm going through. But if everybody stays silent because they are afraid of offending the fat advocates, or offending the politically correct, or offending, or triggering, or even just being ashamed of their choice because they are worried about what their family and their friends or their colleagues or their peers are going to say, the conversations won't happen. So because I'm the person who just does not care, I'm going to have these conversations. It is a weird space to be in. And if you are feeling like me, come talk to me about it. Tell me how you're working through it. What tips have your therapist given you? What are some healthy coping mechanisms that you've developed right now? Because right now, shopping gives me anxiety. I literally was in tears the other day trying to find clothes for myself. Even when I'm doing brand partnerships, like, I'm uncertain of what to tell the brands, what size to send me, because it rapidly shifts so quickly. And with weight loss, it may not necessarily be the weight that you lose as so much as so the shape of your body has changed. I used to technically have an hourglass shape, right? Like, my measurements were, my bust was bigger than my waist, and my hips were wider than my waist. And I always thought that was weird because I definitely do not have, curvaceous hips. And now I'm a spoon, or what's considered a pear, because by all technical numbers, my bust is now smaller than my waist and my hips. But if I look at myself, I'm not super curvy. You know what I mean? Like, and that makes it hard to even shop by shape. There are, shout out to Insize, apps and things that exist that help you find other women that look like you, and they help you identify like what your shape is. And I'm like, yeah, I see sis as a pear, but I don't look like her pear. I look more like a plantain. I feel like I look like a plantain. I think that's more suitable for me. A plantain, banana, whatever the case may be. My body has shifted in the way that it looks. And that happens with weight loss patients all the time. Weight loss surgery patients, because so much happens so rapidly. It's almost like your body can't keep up. Will I settle into a look, when I've reached my year? Possibly. When I reach my 2 years of surgery I've had, I can continue to lose weight up to like 2 years after. And then it's more about maintenance. But it has made for an interesting experience for me. Not so much an enjoyable one either, because I don't like the feeling of uncertainty. When I don't feel certain in myself, that gives me anxiety. And when my anxiety is up, that gives me problems. And everybody around me problems. So basically, I just wanted to come here and put that out on the table and let y'all know, like, y'all are not alone. And I hope that I'm creating space for y'all to open up these conversations with your loved ones, your close friends, your platforms, if you decide to share your journeys with people, because I think it's important. I don't always have the answers. I don't always drop gems. I just be telling y'all what's on my mind because it's just there. And hopefully it will motivate or encourage y'all to open up and have those conversations too, because the one thing that does not ever benefit us is holding on to these things internally, letting them fester, and trying to work through things on our own when maybe there's somebody else out there who may have the answer. And we just don't know because we're not talking about it. Yep, so that's it. That's all, folks. That's all I really came here to say today. I appreciate those of you who are coming in and subscribing. It's been a slow burn over here growing the AP on YouTube, but I like what I like, and I like doing what I do because it's me authentically, no matter how slow of a burn it is or how long it takes to be able to monetize over here on YouTube. I take pleasure in the fact of knowing that whatever I'm putting out is truly authentically me, and I don't intend on, playing any tricks or abiding by any algorithm breaking rules or trying to give y'all like the blah blah blah. So y'all, look, if it's meant for you to see it, you're gonna see it. That's how I view it. Hopefully that's how y'all view it too. And if you enjoy my content, of course, I'm going to ask you to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you know when I drop something new. I don't have a schedule. So it comes when it comes. When I feel motivated and inspired to drop content, I will. But of course, you can always follow me at Instagram at APYblog, or you can follow me at my blog, www.apyoungblog.com. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye.